welcome to a bonus episode of the MMA Lockcast. I'm your host, Manpreet, aka MMA Lock of the Night, your boy on social media at MMA LOTN, and the architect behind the MMA Fight Archive, ensuring you leave no stone unturned when you're researching these upcoming MMA events. With promotions covered, I believe 17 different promotions from all over the world. I believe I'm going to be adding another 2 in 2025, and we have close to 4,700 fighter profiles available for you to browse through and get direct links to past fights for all these competitors. We cover, like I said, it'll be 19 different promotions come 2025, and we have over 110 subscribers on this service as well. And you can take full advantage of a 7-day free trial to see what it's all about. Want to know why it's so good? Well, you'll see when I break down some of these KSW fights for you guys, because we do cover KSW on it as well. So 7-day free trial, check the link in the description below. All right, we're going to be talking about KSW 101 in this Lockcast bonus episode. This will be the last prediction video I'll be dropping for 2024. We have Octagon 64, I believe it is, or Octagon 65 going down on December 29th. I'll strictly be breaking that down on the MMA LOTN Patreon page. Obviously, it's going down the week of Christmas, and also there's a ton of other family stuff that I'll be doing as well. So I won't have time to pull myself away to actually get a video out for you guys, but I will be doing strictly just a written version of it. But I will still have a 2024 recap podcast that I'll drop, where I'll go over what will likely go down as the best tracked year that I've had to date, not to mention going over the predictions and stuff as well, to see how we did for all the promotions that I covered, and then I will do my best. Probably first week of January, I'm going to release the top UFC underdogs to hit in 2024, similar to the video that I did for 2023. So if you guys want to go back on the YouTube channel to check that out, I'll be following that same format and giving you guys some cool facts and stuff to see all the good stuff that pertains to underdogs for 2023 or 2024 in the UFC. So stay tuned for that. But again, hope you guys are enjoying your holidays if you're already on holidays, and hopefully we can kick off the holidays with some solid cash here on KSW. Not a great card in terms of value, in my opinion. Not a lot of great underdogs on the card. Only picked 1 or 2 on this, as you guys will be hearing very shortly. And I'm going to do this very brief. I'm going to do this nearly quick pick style, because I just want to get it out for you guys, as I believe it starts in just under 24 hours. So sooner the better. Let's get it going. So first fight of the night, Zakaria Hamou coming in at plus 115, going up against Andres Karkula coming in at minus 145. Hamou a little bit more well-rounded than Karkula. Karkula likes the grappling game, likes to get his wrestling going, likes to dominate from that top position. But I do believe Hamou, if he can be a little bit more aggressive than we've seen him in the past, he does a great job in terms of establishing his range and utilizing his straight shots down the pipe, and he has a decent grappling game of his own. So I'm going to lean on his underdog price, as well as his countering ability, his size as well here, and hopefully his BJJ advantage, where he should be able to keep Karkula from getting off on too much success here. So give me a Hamou as the underdog to kick off the card here. Next up, Amari Wako coming in at minus 240, going up against Masij Rebacz coming in at plus 190. I do believe Wako is the stronger prospect of the two. He's already 2-0 as a pro. Slick striking, decent grappling as well, where he does a great job in terms of controlling his opponents from that top position. Rebacz, not so much. I've been seeing him get controlled as of late to end off his amateur career. Has some decent striking, but I do have to give Wako the overall advantage here, and I understand why he's at minus 240. So give me him to win this matchup. This next fight between Damien Peltier going up against Nassim Belhouachi, butchered it. No odds for it, and I doubt there will be odds for it, because Peltier is coming in on very short notice here after Nassim's original opponent pulled out. Peltier hasn't competed in over 5.5 years. I'm assuming that's going to make him a big underdog in this spot. I will still lean with Nassim, but I don't want anything to do with him just because he isn't that good of a fighter either. But Peltier's inactivity and super short notice nature of this fight, we're probably not going to get odds for this fight anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I'll go with Nassim to win this matchup. All right, next up, Nahaye coming in at plus 116, plus 160, going up against Edward Kexel coming in at minus 200. Now, Nahaye rides a 2-fight winning streak coming into his KSW debut. He's finished both of his opponents with strikes during that winning streak. He has solid pop on his shots and an educated kicking game as well, but he's going up against a very tough and promising prospect here in Kexel, who's very good with his grinding grappling approach. Now, from what I heard, he actually opened as an underdog in this matchup and now finds himself up at minus 200, and I completely understand that line movement, as I do believe his grappling is far superior to what Nahaye brings to the table. I do believe that we'll see Kexel do his best in terms of grinding him out, pushing him up against the cage, dragging him to the ground, getting the mat returns going, and he has a great gas tank to do it for 15 minutes if he needs to as well. So I'm going to go Kexel here, and Kexel by decision, and I feel pretty damn good about him. Our next up, the prospect Ramazan Jembiev coming in at minus 415, going up against El Hadji and Ndiaye coming in at plus 315. And Jembiev got caught in an armbar in 47 seconds last time around back in January against a short notice KSW debutant. So that was a huge upset to start off the year for KSW. But I do believe Jembiev is still the better grappler in this matchup against Ndiaye. Ndiaye manages to battle through some of his gas tank issues late in fights. He still manages to grind out opponents, even though his body language doesn't look that good. He's strong, he's physical, but I still have to leave with Jembiev, as I do believe he's the better overall fighter here. More powerful shots in his punches. As long as his submission defense is up to snuff again, I don't think he'll have too much issue here. And again, Ndiaye, not too much of a submission threat off of his back, so we don't have to worry too much there. So look for Jembiev to dictate the pace of this matchup. I have a little bit of a hesitancy up at minus 400 with him, as Ndiaye is not just going to roll over and let him get the dub here, but I do believe Jembiev will do a good enough job in terms of winning this matchup. But he will face a little bit of hardship. So I won't bang on anybody looking to take the underdog value on Ndiaye here, but I just don't see it coming through. Our next up, Artur Szczepaniak coming in at minus 145, going up against Alex Lohore, who comes in at plus 115. I'm big on Szczepaniak. You know, I know he came up short against Madaras Fleminus last time, 2 fights ago, but managed to bounce back with a nasty Bravo choke. He's a slick striker, but I think he does his best work when he's able to get fights to the ground. He's very good with his submission game, very good with control as well, and has a decent gas tank to back it up. He's going up against a fighter that has, I believe, 2.5 to 3 times more experience than him. Lohore has solid punching power to his 2-fight winning streak that he's currently on. He's finished both of those opponents in the first round. He has never been submitted in 10 of his losses, although he has been TKO'd in 5 of those losses. But I do believe Szczepaniak will do a good enough job in terms of staying safe from the power of Lohore, keeping this fight on the ground, keeping this pushed up against the cage by implementing his physical style and dictating the pace of it. And at minus 145, I'm more than happy to take a shot on him here. So look for Szczepaniak, hopefully, to stay safe at range, land his shots with the speed advantage that he should have here, and then eventually get this fight to the ground where he should be able to have a good enough grappling advantage to probably not find a submission, but do a good enough job in terms of grinding Lohore out and winning this fight on the scorecards. All right, next up, Romain Debienne coming in at... I believe he is actually the minus 130 favorite now, and Michael Lebout is the one coming in at plus 100 or plus 110, depending on the bookie that you're looking at. Debienne, former Bellator prospect, or Bellator veteran, I should say. Michael Lebout was in the UFC back in 2015, where he went 1-2, and then since his release is 9-7-1 as of late, but most recently stepped in the cage in April 2023, where he got knocked out by Loriano Staropoli, who just headlined, I believe it was the PFL card just the other week. Debienne, heavy puncher, started his career 1-3, was 9-1 leading into his PFL debut back in April, and then he got defeated by Thadjean, who's an ultra prospect pretty much. Power puncher, does a great job in terms of crashing the pocket and landing his strikes, but does leave openings for superior strikers to get the better of him, and his takedown defense is still a work in progress. Lebout, when he was at his best, is a guy that could take opponents to the ground and utilize that grapple heavy approach. His chin, a little bit of a question mark. Obviously, he's taken off a ton of time here, over a year and a half away from action. He's 37 years old as well, but I do believe he's the better overall fighter here. So I will predict Lebout to win this fight, but I do have a little bit of reservations in regards to his long layoff, the fact that he's getting up there in age, and if he can't take a big, a clean shot from Debienne here, he might be in trouble. But look for Lebout to win this fight behind his wrestling and dictating the pace in that realm, and hopefully pulling off either a submission or a straight-up decision victory here, but very, very low confidence there. All right, next up, Lade Zerhouni coming in at plus 165, going up against Alain van der Merckt coming in at minus 205. Starting off on the Zerhouni side, who was actually in a main event slot for the KSW last time around, got pretty much bullied that night and finished pretty much within a minute of that fight taking place. That was a fight where he showed absolutely no respect for his opponent, walking him down, throwing big shots, and hoping to replicate the two dominant wins that he had in KSW leading up to that matchup. But he ended up getting countered. He ended up getting finished and TKO'd on the mat because he got a little bit too lackadaisical or just showed no respect or no regard for what his opponent was throwing in return. Alain actually was scheduled to fight on the last episode of the Contender series this past season. I'm not sure why he was forced to pull out of that matchup, but he ended up quickly signing with KSW. You're talking about a guy who is 8-0, 5 of those wins coming by submission. He's 3 of those by TKO. He is a guy that looks to take opponents to the ground with his physicality and just dominate from that top position with his submission game, or finding positions where he can posture up and rain down some ground and pound fight ending shots. I do like Merckt here, as I believe that he is the superior grappler. I believe his physicality will allow him to close that distance against the dangerous striking of Zerhouni, and I believe he'll be able to get this to the ground and eventually find a finish within 2 rounds there. Again, Zerhouni is dangerous, and if he can keep this fight upright, he probably looks like the favorite, but I believe in Merckt's physicality and strength here, and I believe that will allow him to get this fight to the ground and do what he does best. So look for Merckt to get this done within 2 rounds. Our next up, Marcin Held coming in at minus 285, going up against Davy Gallon coming in at plus 225. Starting off on the Held side of things, you're talking about a former UFC veteran here who likes to utilize his control and BJJ dominance to defeat his opponents. Gallon, on the other hand, is a Bellator veteran who is a judo black belt, and that's normally where he looks to be most effective, is by taking mediocre opponents to the ground and grinding them out from that top position. Neither guy presents huge threats in terms of the striking realm, and considering their grappling backgrounds here, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being where this fight takes place most in the striking realm. But I do believe that Held's BJJ will end up being victorious here, as he should be able to find ways to eventually get this fight to the ground or getting into a clinch position where he can jump on the back of Gallon. But I do believe that Held is far closer to his prime, even though he might not be in his prime. It's much closer than where Gallon is. So a little bit iffy about the near minus 300 line here on Held, but I expect his BJJ to reign supreme and for him to end up getting the victory here. All right, main event, not too much to talk about here, as Saladin Parnasse comes in at minus 900 going up against Wilson Varela coming in at plus 600. We got French on French violence here, where Parnasse actually came up short, looking to earn his 3rd title in a different division last year round, but ended up coming up short. He returned to lightweight back in April and ended up getting a first round finish, and now he's looking to defend his lightweight title once again. Varela, on the other hand, started his career 6-5, but now finds himself on his 6-fight winning streak, which ultimately ended up giving him this or earning him this title shot that he's getting. Parnasse has Varela covered pretty much everywhere. He's the better striker, better grappler, better cardio, much better championship experience. Varela, big power puncher, can grind out opponents if he needs to, but I think he relies more so on his knockout power more than anything, and I think that's going to cause him some issues here dealing with Parnasse, as Parnasse eventually takes him to the ground and pretty much dictates the pace of this fight, does what he wants, outstrikes him, outgrapples him, wins this fight, probably finishes him within 3 rounds, but I do like Parnasse to end up getting his hand raised. There you guys go. Full KSW 101 breakdown for you guys here. Again, I believe this fight card takes place Friday afternoon, Friday morning if we're, Eastern Standard Time. And then next week and next Sunday, I believe OKTAGON at 65 going down. I'll strictly have written breakdowns for that on the Lock of the Night Patreon page, so make sure you guys check the link in the description below for that. You guys can also find the tracked plays that I have for this and seeing if we can continue to add upon the best year that I've had in terms of tracked plays. Let's see if we can get the ball rolling again, or at least keep it rolling here to the end of the year. All right, appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support. Either see you guys next week or the following week for my wrap-up video. And yeah, Enjoy your holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Whatever you guys celebrate, whatever you guys doing, make sure you guys get some time in with your loved ones and just enjoy your time away from work. Appreciate the love. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you guys again very shortly. Good luck this weekend. Peace.
Last thing.